Valheim. I've spent the Easter break playing it with a relative and we're about a week into our game. This is not the game that my relative and I have been playing. This is a different one. I thought I'd come in on this one because it's much earlier in the game world, and I'm just going to wander around in my game and I guess record how I play the game. The scenario in Valheim is you were a Viking warrior, you were killed in battle. You have now been transferred to a new world, which is the next world on your stage to the afterlife, and you have materialised here with very few resources. You come into the world with basically nothing. You've got the ragged tunic and you can pick things up. So for instance, I can pick up stone and I can pick up wood. This isn't a completely new map, but very close. I have crafted a few things already and picked up a few things. Tab shows me my inventory so I can see how much I've got. These are the things I've picked up quite early in game. This is a leveled game and the levels are presented as biomes. So you start on the easiest biome, defeat the boss, move on up through the harder ones. So this one is meadows, and in the top right corner there is a little map showing where I am, and it tells us that it's meadows. Now, you don't know what's on the map until you've walked around and explored. Meadows is a fairly safe place to do that in, but there are a few enemies. The crux of the game is this stone circle. This stone circle is all the bosses. As you defeat a boss, you receive a token from it, which you then place on the chain on the appropriate stone. So we've got 7 bosses. That means 7 levels. The initial boss is Eikthyr, and Eikthyr is up there. I need to prepare myself, upgrade my skills, gather resources so that I can attack that boss, at which point something in the world will tell me where the second boss is. So effectively that's the game. It's a matter of resource management, it's a matter of survival, and it is levelling up through the biomes. You can go into any biome from the start. They're not locked, but they are unbelievably difficult. So chances are if I went into one of the later biomes right now, I'd be killed instantly. Now, when you die, your stuff is placed in a grave at the site of your death, and you will respawn in either the place that you first spawned into the game, or if you have built a bed, which I now have, you will respawn in your bed. So if you've travelled a long way from home and then you die, you will respawn here and have a long journey back to get your stuff. Sometimes it's not worth going back for your stuff. It depends on what you've picked up and what you want to keep. So that's just the basic game. The main unit for building things is a workbench. This gives you various items. The tools that I have up in the top there are the early tools that you can build just out of stones and wood, the things that you're picking up around yourself. The workbench allows you to repair items and to build new ones, and as the game goes on you get to upgrade your items. You also get to upgrade your workbench by adding different things to it. What you can do here will unlock as you get further in the game. You also have a skill table, which is here. You start off with nothing, and just by doing things you upgrade. So the more I run and the more I jump, and that's something I like to do, but you lose stamina. That yellow bar is my stamina. There, my jump skill has improved to 5. In the bottom left corner there is my energy levels based on how hungry I am and what food I've had. And I've got no food in my stomach, so I've just got base 25 energy at the moment. Now food, I'm carrying some food, mushrooms and strawberries and honey. You can eat 3 different items at a time and they will last for different lengths. Since I have now eaten, my health will slowly go up as I presume I'm digesting that food. And that will help me if I come across enemies, which I will. Now this is meadows. Meadows is fields and a couple of types of trees. There's beech trees and there's birch trees, and what's the other one? Oak. It's a lovely world. It's kind of European in feel, perhaps English, but probably right across Europe. It's a gentle place. We have forests. There's still early morning fog. This is early in the day. So actually I'm seeing stars appear, so maybe it's about to be night. And as you wander around, you come to realise in this game that other people have been here before you. There's a whole lot of, like this, abandoned huts that I haven't been in, and you can find abandoned chests. As you pick things up, it gives you upgrades. It unlocks new menu items, which is quite useful. That's how the game works. So I didn't really get to see what I'd unlocked, but I'm getting a lot of feathers, which are really handy for making arrows. This is getting dark. A lot of enemies turn up at night. So it's better to shelter, especially if you're not very strong, it's better to shelter in your own house overnight. I've lit a fire. The fire is by select the hammer. The hammer is the work thing. The campfire is one of them. You can't sleep unless you've got a lit campfire. My campfire is a bit exposed, so it means that if it rains, I'm cold and I can't sleep. Because there are all these abandoned houses around, you have a choice. You can build something from scratch or you can just renovate an existing one. I am a huge fan of renovating an existing place. I don't think when I started this game that it was my intention to remain here, but it's currently proving a useful place to show the basic game mechanics. So other things I can do in crafting, I've had that bee there, so I can put this here. I've now got a beehive that will make honey for me that I can harvest. And I have a cooking rack that I better be careful not to block my door, that I can put over my campfire, and then if I have raw meat. So if I have raw meat, I can cook raw meat on the fire. And cooked meat will give me quite a bit of energy. So that is the game in a nutshell. It's a matter of surviving and gathering resources and skilling up and moving through the game, defeating the big bosses. There are different creatures in all the different places. It can be a bit of a challenge to figure out what their strengths and weaknesses are. Some of them will kill you immediately, but they might be very weak themselves, so it's a matter of figuring out this one I need to attack first, and this one I just have to snipe, and this one it's better to just whack them when they get close. It sort of doesn't sound exciting to say it, but when you're in the game, it's good. I think that's the thing about a game like this. It's hard to make it pleasant to watch. But I'm going to show what I'm doing here. I'm not going to continue with this game. I'm going to go to my proper one now. It's just that I'm so much further in the proper one. I wanted to show a little more of how rustic it is at the very beginning. Okay, here's my proper game. This is a different character. This is the one that my relative and I are playing at the moment. And I've come right back to the starting point to show how we've advanced from my character in that previous game. When you get storms, they drop wood and stuff all over the place, which can be quite handy, so I shall pick them up. It is a beautiful location. There are lovely trees, there's grass, there is all of that sort of thing. And I am wearing troll armour. I'm very fond of the troll stuff. It makes me feel warmer and it's stronger. I've upgraded it a few levels. You can see from my weapons at the top that I have a wider range of things. Metallurgy has been developed, so I have a bronze axe, which is a marvellous thing. I also have a bronze pickaxe, which allows me to chop up rocks and mine for metals. I've ended up with 3 bows for various reasons, but mainly we tend to set up base somewhere, then set up outposts at areas that we want to deal with. I've just cleared one of those out, so I'm taking some of our excess stuff back to the main base. Here is our circle with the stones, and we have now completed the first 2 bosses. So having gotten their tokens and placed them on the stones, they now look like this. We have many more to go. On the map, because we've also developed boats so we can travel over the water, I am here standing in the middle of the circle. We set up our base over, a long way over here. We set it up near Eichthea because that was the first boss. I have just walked all the way around just to show what the stones look like now. So I'm going to walk all the way back. This is kind of a violent game. Like, we don't fight each other. There's just us. There's no other people in the world. We've teamed up to develop our resources. But you do kill animals. I find that really hard. I find all of these creatures, actually, killing them is hard. A lot of them will attack me, and just like in Skyrim, I find it easier to attack something that has attacked me first. I feel like that's a level of defense. But in this game, you actually just have to go hunting because you need the leather that the animals give you to progress the game. And I find that really hard because the animals are extremely realistic. Not only that, but the boars can actually be tamed. You can domesticate them, you can feed them, and they love you, and that is, extra hard. So I don't do it unless I have to, but you do have to because you need to eat their meat and you need their leather to do things with. What makes it work for me is, now in this game, we are dead. This is sort of an afterlife, and that's why if you get killed in this game, you just respawn. This is kind of a training ground, a leveling up ground for your spirit, effectively, to see if you are worthy to go on to proper afterlife. I mean, that's how I see it anyway, and that's why there's all these abandoned houses around, because other deceased warriors have come here, because you were a warrior, you died in battle. So other deceased warriors have come here and had the same experience before me. And just like I am building houses and fixing places up, they've done the same. So the abandoned houses, like the ruins that you see around, to me are the other warriors who've been here. And the other thing that you get are these runes, which are messages from presumably the deceased warriors who have been here before you. There's a lot of them. They give you advice about the game and also just a little bit of lore. So my assumption is, like, the headcanon that I'm working with that enables me to kill animals is that they're the same. When I kill them, they're not actually dying. They're going to reappear somewhere else. They've left that body behind for me to use, but they're just going to reappear in an identical body. So I kind of need to tell myself that, otherwise I couldn't do it. And it kind of does work like that, you know. You can kill all the animals in an area and come back the next day and they're all back. So that's what I like to think. I have not really killed them because otherwise I couldn't play this. I can do there's a lot of enemies and I don't have too much trouble with them, but these guys are so cute. Like, I'm going to do it now, so I'll just warn you, this is gory and realistic. And I hate it. I mean, I would hate it if I could. Oh no, can't I pick that up? I would hate it if I couldn't rationalize it somehow. I kind of feel like I have to, because otherwise that neck has died in vain, and I don't want that. Nothing should die in vain. Probably them, because they're everywhere and we've got so much of it. I tend to play very friendly, nice games. This one is probably the harshest I do. You can see by the map here that I haven't actually been to this area. Even though this is a home world, even though this is quite early game, I never really explored this because we went off to where the first boss was, and it's such a big world and you can go to all of it, all that you can see around. And I am an explorer, so in the end I probably will go everywhere. Okay, I'm back. It's almost the end of the day. The enemies start to come out. There's a lot of enemies that only come out at night, so it's well and truly a good idea to be undercover by dark. But there's my first house. It's built out of wood. It's up on that rocky promontory. I kind of like seaside places, but this was close to the first boss, so it was a convenient location. And I'm not much of a house builder, you'll see that. It's functional, it does what I need inside, but on the outside it looks a bit rickety like a barn. And over there is my relative's house. So this is our little village, our little two-person village. And I'm coming inside because I've got a fire out there. It is warm. You can only sleep when it's warm. When it is warm, up in the top right, it shows that I am resting with a comfort level of 5. That's because of the furniture I've got around. I'm under shelter, which really just means I've got a roof over me, a proper roof, and I have a fire going, which is actually just outside there. So these are my chests full of the things that I've collected, and like there's some order, but it doesn't last because I always end up with more things that I need to just deposit quickly. And I've got to make a decision now. Am I going to build a new chest to put my excess tools in? Like, that's what I really need to do. Yeah, let's put that chest so excess tools and stuff can go in there. Now, this is only a week in and we've already got portals. You can get portals fairly early on. They're really handy things to have. This is because we have now explored this much. As you can see, it's mostly been the exterior of a continent. Haven't got inside many of them yet. This one it's got a mountain in the middle. We just die if we go there. But all the others have their own challenges. We will get there. But at this point, it's just been a little bit of ocean travel because there are sea serpents and things that attack you. Ocean travel can be quite challenging too, and you sort of run the risk of it's a bit resource intensive to build a boat. If it sinks out in the middle of the ocean, your grave is out in the middle of the ocean and the only way to get back to it is to build another boat. So you try not to lose your boat. So the thing is, when you get somewhere new, you can build a portal and then you don't have to take a boat to get there. You can go through the portal. For instance, this portal takes us to this stone castle thing that still needs a lot of work, where we set up a base in order to defeat the second boss. So out here, over there is the Elder, that is the second boss. So this was the closest we could find an existing structure. This is Black Forest. You can see in the top right it says Black Forest, not Meadows. Black Forest was a challenge when we first came here. It's still kind of a bit of a challenge, especially at night. I think what I might do is sleep the night here, which probably means... So what I will do here is just gather a little bit of wood for my fire. We don't come here much anymore. As soon as I start chopping, it's going to bring enemies, but... that's enough to get through the night. Oh no, that's a troll. Did I see a troll? Or was it just a shaman? I feel like I saw a troll. Maybe it was just a bluish look. What did I see? No, it is a troll. There's a troll destroying a handy hut. And this is the issue. Like even this place... yeah, I don't think I've got many arrows either. Even this place, which is only the second biome, we've defeated the boss for it and everything. Trolls are still a hassle. Like, he'll kill me really fast. Oh no, I'm out of arrows and I'm out of wood. Okay, I can't do anything about you. I've got to go back. That is really annoying. Stack of wood. I think already the way this game works is becoming clear. Now, you don't usually come out and find a troll just there. That was just a really annoying thing. And if he's still there, I'll see if I can take him out. Usually you come out and it's just the forest. But it can be a bit of a challenge. Okay, look, he's still there. There he is. Good. And he is certainly capable of destroying the whole thing. The other thing is shamans will heal the trolls. Oh, I'm not getting him. I was doing better before. Doing alright when he's around that side. As long as that shaman doesn't heal him, I should have him. Okay, that's got the troll. Where's the shaman? Probably better off getting him from down here. Shaman and a brute, is it? Right. How much space have I got? A little bit. All that just because I wanted wood for the fire so I could sleep for the night. See what damage he's done. Look at that. Look at that damage. I think it still thinks it's covered. Okay, that was a bit unexpected to find a troll there, but it happens. It's not necessarily a safe place. That's why we use the portals to get us around. You come here, you do what you have to, and then you can leave. So I just wanted to show what you get in Black Forest because this is Black Forest. You have different tree types. You have pine and you have fir. I think fir. Yes, fir. And they give you different types of wood. Pine gives you something called core wood, which is useful for building, and the regular wood is useful for all sorts of stuff, weapons and houses and things. That's all I wanted to show. This is what we use the portals for, and I don't need to come back here. Since I have now set that bed to be my spawn point, if I die, I will automatically return to this location, which makes no sense. But not a big drama because the portal's there. So, I am back in my own home, and I'm going to the next house, my relative's house, because there's a different portal in that one. Honestly, he is brilliant at house design. I just wish I had that skill. He's also got a more upgraded everything. So here's the portal here to go to the next place. Because after we defeated the second boss, we then needed a swamp. Because Meadows is the first biome, Black Forest is the second, Swamp is the third. And this place is in Black Forest, very close to a swamp. The swamp is, I mean, it's good. The swamp is a good skilling up area. It's not pleasant to be in, but it's really effectively done. It really has the feel of a swamp. They've done a great job. So I'm just going to step into the swamp briefly here. I don't know what I'm going to find. Here it is. You can see in the top right it says swamp. It is loaded with enemies. It goes quite dark. It's always raining here. Don't need to waste my arrows on a skeleton. It has nasty creatures, like lots of undead creatures basically. Most of which I can handle now. Like the Draugr are still hard. They're too tough if they hit me. They do a lot of damage, but I can generally take them out if I can keep a little away. See how it got sunny when I came out of the swamp into the Black Forest? Because even on a sunny day in the swamp, didn't manage to get away from the thing. I may have forgotten that I need to eat. Oh, there's something. Let's show me dying. The game. I don't think I... Right. I have my grave. Now I have to get dressed. Draugr have vanished back into the swamp, but unfortunately I didn't get to show it off, so I still will. I will just be a little more circumspect. So here's the swamp with enemies. Much easier to kill them if they can't figure out where you are. Oh no. Okay. Right. I didn't really want to do any fighting. I don't enjoy the fighting, but it's just in the game. You can't really help it. There's a muddy scrap pile right there. Anyway, what I wanted to show was that it's just an eerie place. With lots of enemies. And it's always dark and gloomy. And they've done really well. I never noticed. Muddy scrap gives you stuff. So in my mind, the only good reason to come into a swamp is to pick up scrap iron, which is what we use to turn into iron ingots. Iron ingots is then used for other things, which are necessary for doing stonework and increasing our skill level. We move up into the Stone Age with that. So I'm not going in there again. I just wanted to show what it was like. They're spooky, scary places. There are crypts. There are ghosts. Ghosts are really hard to defeat. This is my bedroom. I like my bedroom very much. It's got this nice open view of the water. I can sit in this seat and look out. It looks amazing at sunrise and sunset. It looks really great when there's a storm. So far, the waves have not washed into my room, although they quite conceivably could. I've been in places in the past where that happened. But it's a beautiful little room. It's got a high level of comfort, and I sleep well here when I use this as my principal residence. Next door is my relative's room, which I probably feel like I shouldn't be in here. He hasn't really equipped it very much. He often does. He's very good with that sort of thing, but I think he was focused on just extracting the scrap iron that we need to advance to the next stage, because once you've got used to being at a certain stage, it's kind of harder to come back to the beginning. Anyway, the thing that I'm doing here, I'm going to take this boat back home because you can't take raw metals through the portal. We have a whole lot of this stuff, this scrap iron, that won't go. If I try, unless it's changed, yeah, the portal just won't turn on if you've got it on you. So you can't go through the portal with it, so you've got to take it in a boat. And I have loaded the boat with all the scrap iron that we've got so far, and it is safe so far. So that is what I'm going to do now. I'm not doing any real playing while there's just me in the game. I'm just fiddling and doing the bits. And boat travel is a lot of fun, if a bit dangerous. So what I'm doing is I'm taking the boat from here up the coast over to here, which is right across the map as we know it. And it could take a long time. It might be quick. It depends on the wind. In the map in the upper right, on the bottom left of that map, there is an arrow that is pointing from the bottom left to the top right. And that is the wind. So at the moment I am roughly taking the boat in the same direction as the wind, which means the sails will work very well. Also in that map in the upper right, it is saying that I am in the ocean. It is not always good to be in the ocean because of serpents. I have a feeling they come out at night, but I don't know that I want to push that. So I've got to figure out how I'm going to do this. What's the best way to get home? But while we're with the wind, it's really worth making the most of that. It is kind of nice to sit in the boat and see the shores go by. Great way to explore, see what's ahead without being in too much danger. There is a shop in there, like that's what this thing is. It's a money bag because there's a shop that we could go to, but we've just had other things to do so far. I probably could go on an exploration with my money and visit him and see what he has to offer, because I don't remember what shops sell. Right, let's go a bit that way. If we can just maintain this direction for a long time. Go in the direction of the wind. You really put the miles behind you, which is excellent. As far as I can while it's daytime. I think I need to negotiate some narrow waters there. That looks like a river. So if I go up there and through there, would that be the best way? Depends what the terrain is. Like, you can do that in meadows and black forest, but you wouldn't want to do that in swamp or plains, because swamp has these giant attacky things in the water called leeches, which, like, you can take them out, but they certainly do damage to a boat. And plains just has so many hard monsters. I'm going to finish this video by showing those biomes just a tiny bit, because there's a really marvellous place we found that's like a junction of 4 different biomes. It's got meadows, black forest, swamp and plains pretty much all together. Okay, so I need to start swinging round. That must be the mouth up there. And luckily, the wind is still in a good spot for it. And it's meadows. Meadows is the best. As long as it's meadows, we'll be fairly safe. Trouble with the sail is it gets in the way, like visually. How shallow is it going to be? And of course it's night. Night going through meadows isn't so bad, especially with the wind behind us. Night going through black forest is a little more challenging because of trolls. The other animals I think I can handle, the other enemies and beasts, but trolls make it awkward. At this speed we're okay, because luckily we've still got the wind behind us. A few rocks here. Did I really want to hit? Oh no. I almost misjudged that. Well, it was almost like a racing boat track. But luckily we've come out, so that was good. That might have saved us a bit of time going through that river. So what we've got to do now is cross the water and then head up. Which I think is going to take us into ocean. And ocean at night, that's not the best. I might, even though it's not the direct route, sort of go straight ahead, because we'll have the wind behind us to get across the ocean, and that's better. Now we're going against the current. As we're rowing, that's slow. We've got a little bit of speed up because we had such a nice long stretch with the wind behind us, so that has helped. And with luck, either we'll change direction or the wind will. Over there's a patch of purple glowing in the forest. That is a spawner. That is how enemies spawn. So I don't know if, like the meadows animals have them. Black forest and the swamp certainly do. I presume the plains does as well. I haven't seen anything like that in meadows though, so I don't know if the animals just reappear. Rounding the point. We will have another stretch of ocean in front of us. I feel like that wind direction might be good enough to use the sail. There's a battle going on up there. Something died, possibly a deer, and I feel the urge to go and collect the meat all the time, because if someone else has killed a deer, then I don't have that guilt of killing an animal, but I could just pick up the meat. But I'm not going to because of all the animals around, and I'm doing something else. So, which way? I actually want to go slightly that way, but I do like the direction of the wind. This might be quite helpful. On the map, I've got a little jetty thing marked. That's where I did land a boat, but it's not there. But I will keep it because it's an indication that that's a safe place to put a boat. Did I just see something? Hopefully just a fish gone a little astray. The ocean tends to do that. I don't know if it's only the ocean or if it's also me, but you don't keep an eye on it when you're out in the ocean. Sometimes you just find you're going a different direction. Hit a different current, I suppose. There's our jetty. I'm going a bit fast. Crash into the raft. You start off with a raft and then you upgrade to a boat like this. Ah, sorry. And then you upgrade to an even grander boat. But we're not up to the grand boat yet. Well, okay. I can probably row us a little bit into shore. I like to keep us in the shadows, like even if we run aground, because if something destroys the boat, it means we can recover the resources, particularly the nails. I couldn't do that at the last place. It was too dangerous to bring it inshore there because it's black forest at the edge of swamp. Too many enemies, but this is meadows, so meadows is better. What I'm going to do now, have I got wood? I just hate to see a fire that's not operative. I'm going to get my cart. Oh, for heaven's sake, go away. Oh no. I don't know what was there. I presume it was a... Okay, so having done that little bit of maintenance, I'm taking the... It's a bit of a wreck. Taking the cart down to the jetty. Roads, I like to build roads. They're very rough, but they're really helpful. Roads to the places that we use often. That was one thing I always really liked about Minecraft, was building roads. You can do really nice ones. We've all got something to bring to a game like that when you play it multiplayer, and what I brought to that game was roads and bridges and little wayside huts to shelter in when you've gone far enough that you need to sleep. And I do the same sort of thing here. Okay. So what I'm going to do is just empty all the... that's everything the boat is carrying. I will take this back up and I'm going to leave the boat there for a bit. I wanted to move it from where it was because it just wasn't a safe place. Things were attacking it. We'd managed to keep it functional, but every time you went there you had to repair it and keep it right outside the window so you could shoot whatever enemies attacked it, because the greylings and stuff, they can swim and they like to swim around it and do damage. We've got quite a load in here with all this scrap iron. If we stay here, which we probably won't, my relative loves to build in stone, so he will build a castle. I haven't decided. I'll probably build something like that too. He'd be most happy for me to live in his castle. Maybe that's best, but I'd kind of like to increase the number of buildings. So anyway, when we get settled somewhere, we'll probably have a warehouse to put all the stuff in, so they're not in our individual houses. We will also have like a portal hall, so all the portals are together, not in our house. And when you get at least 4 buildings in the same place, it does start to feel like a village, almost like an actual town. That's good. That was a step that needed doing. Everything else here I can take back. Move it in good condition since I borrowed it. Right, that is a job well done. And there's one more thing I want to do now, which is show off that little place that has all 4 biomes right next to each other, which is a rather unique thing in the map. You don't always see it. So where we're going, it's down here. It's right at the southern end of the explored world as we know it. And what we've got is meadows just here. There's a little patch of black forest there. We've got swamp running along the back, and over here is plains. And it's just this little strip. This is the final portal that we have, which I've only recently put in, because we came to this place that had some rather fascinating looking large wrecked buildings. And I can't resist them, but it was infested with body piles, which are Draugr spawners, and it was very unpleasant and dangerous. And it's taken me some time, but I have now cleaned out the whole place. So this was where I holed up, as you might say. You know what I'm going to do is just set that as a spawn point, just in case. And this is it. These are some of the buildings that the game gives you. I have half repaired them, like I've repaired all the existing bits, and I really enjoy doing that. I think I'm just a born house flipper. So, you know, you can just sort of use your hammer, and if you've got a workbench, and sort of click over the bits that are damaged and bring them back to life, and they come out looking quite good. But I haven't filled in the missing bits where bits of roof have actually broken away. But I had a lot of fun doing this. So I've got, this is one. They're kind of like throne rooms. There's more work I could do here. But I don't need the space. I think it's probably so that we can practice the stonework, because now we can, with getting the scrap iron, when we smelt that, we can build, there's a special type of forge that you use for doing stonework. And we could live in a place like this. You've got an indoor fire. I would have to do something up there. I think I covered those over just to keep the monsters out, but give it a chimney, you know, and then it's all set. And I went round every one of these bits of wood and repaired them. It's probably still a couple that I've missed here and there. It's almost addictive. See, there's one. There's one. That was one that I'd missed. I really enjoy it. And they just come up looking really nice. So what I've got is that building that I've got the portal in, and that has sheltered me from so many enemies. I've got this building here, and this one, that's really cool, because it almost looks like it's 3 stories from the outside, but it's not. It's not quite. But it looks really grand. And then there's this one, which is honestly a similar floor plan. And there's a chest in there. There often is chests under, and I don't have any wood, so I can't do it. But I think there's a chest under there that could be got to. And I also need to fix that corner yet, which is overlooking the swamp. In fact, it's basically built onto the swamp. Why would you do that? Yeah. I don't have the wood at the moment, so I'm not going to fix that up, but I do like fixing them up. And then this one is very similar. Slightly bigger. It's got more chairs. No throne in this one. It quite possibly has something under there too, but I haven't looked. I was just getting the spawners out, and I have, and once you get the spawners out, they end up in sunshine. So here we have, oh, I don't want to kill you. Can I even take this one? Yes, I can. Here we have meadows. A strip of meadows along the coast, and it is loaded with animals. We have deer and seagulls and boar and necks. Those little lizards are called necks. Fish. Like, it's beautiful. It's idyllic, except for all the stuff around it. Over here we have swamp. These are the swamp trees. There is a Draugr right there. There's a workbench over there because I parked the boat there, and I just went out there every so often to repair the boat. Because of the Draugr and the skeletons, you have to leave the boat far enough away that they can't easily get it. Lots of neck, having fun playing in the water. There's another boar. Because I've taken out a lot of the body piles, which are the Draugr spawners, oh, for heaven's sake, I've put some sunshine into the swamp. Because it's when there's spawners and stuff around that it stays really dark and grim. Here's the leeches that do attack your boat. They can hurt you if you go in the water with them, but they're a bit slow to move and they're easy to use a bow and arrow on. I'm far enough into the swamp now that I've lost the sunshine. Leeches are amazing at seeing you when you sneak. Like, those obviously would, but even if not, I feel like they don't even notice that you're sneaking. Over there is a blob. It just jumped there. I'm going to try and keep it in sight without it seeing me. There's another one over there. They glow a sort of green gassy thing and they poison you if they get near you. So I don't feel the need to fight him. I will have to if he comes too close. There's stuff you can do with like what you get from them. Everything you kill gives you something. They give you ooze, but I don't know yet in this game. I don't remember what you do with the ooze. Now, the thing about having biomes this close together, especially something like meadows this close to the dangerous ones, is the creatures in the dangerous ones are constantly killing all the life that lives in the meadows, which means you just wander around if you want and just pick up all the boar meat and deer skins and everything. It's very, very fruitful. So I'm going to go over here. I'm only sneaking because I don't want to kill them. It's a great way to get your sneak up is to sneak next to something that's not really dangerous. Like, it goes up faster if you're really near a dangerous thing, but it's a safe way, should I say, to get your sneak up. Just sneak past deer and boars. See, this is it. Go quietly to them and let them eat of your stock. Roots of the ground are their pleasure. And I just feel like I don't want to kill a boar because you can tame them. You can feed them raspberries and they love you for it. And often I think, especially if you get bored that's near abandoned houses, maybe they were someone's pet back in the past. So I don't like to do that. These guys are just too ornery to leave though, because I'm going to go and sneak over here where there's some really dangerous enemies, and the last thing I need is to be exposed by those guys. Those giant stones are in the plains. So this is an interesting spot because we've got a spot of black forest there with those fern trees. We've got plains over here and we've got meadows right there and where I am, and we've got swamp. And you can see if I put this here, you can see all four in the one screen. And those little bits of light coming up off, there remains waiting to be picked. Oh no, but it's getting dark. That is really annoying. I'm going home. Should have seen that coming. I did see the sunset and I didn't pay any attention. Because the one thing I can't handle, but there's kind of two. There's a sort of a goblin creature that lives in the plains that I can't handle. There is also a ghost. You get ghosts in the swamp. And I can't defeat a ghost yet. So there's something in there. That'll be a leech. Right. Here we are. See, they're a bit slow. They're there, but you can get across in front of them. They're not that big a drama. But they will get you if you're in water, so you've just got to be out of the water. Now, over here is plains. And over here Mosquitoes, and really, really deadly. And really hard to see because they're small. There are also these goblin creatures whose names I don't remember. And I'm just watching that boar going over there. So if there is a death mosquito, that boar probably won't live long. I mean, I think my presence makes them spawn. I haven't read this one. Yes, I have. And that boar is all right. So, in the plains, there are these wonderful plants that give you lots of energy and... We've got room? Yes, we've got room. Cloudberries. Yeah, perfect. 40 stamina, 13 health. They're really useful. Definitely good for travelling through the plains. Okay, there's a death mosquito. There are two. They always come in pairs. Make sure I've got arrows. I've got enough arrows. And if you see three, that means there's a fourth one, because they're always in pairs. I feel like it might have just taken something out there. I don't like facing death mosquitoes in the trees because they circle around you and the leaves get in the way so you can't see them. I don't know if they're clear. They're over here near this fir tree. They did take something out. So I should have a little bit of time before they respawn, assuming that's all there is here. Now over there are the goblin creatures that are also very strong, and I'm not particularly interested in tackling them. Just going to see whatever things I can recover, particularly foodstuffs. In this little section of Black Forest. There was a troll, but it got taken out, and I don't know if it's going to respawn or not. I don't know if they do. Like they do when they've got a troll cave, I suppose. I haven't spotted a troll cave. Because it's not a big section of Black Forest. This is mostly swamp. Little hut is in the swamp. It was all gloomy here too, but I took some stuff out, and as you kill off the swamp dwellers, it all gets nice and sunny. I mean, it might be fun to fix this up. I'm a bit addicted to fixing up little places like this. And there's a tin deposit that at some point will be handy. So yes, this is what the game is about for me. For my relative, it is all about advancing technology. He really likes to build new things. On top of all else, he loves to have a castle. His castle designs are quite elaborate, but we haven't got far enough yet to start. And I'm just going to leave right now. Those death mosquitoes will respawn, and I'm not really needing to take them out. Now, I didn't show, when I get to a little closer to safety, the death mosquitoes drop needles. When I get to safety, right, these are them. I don't remember what we use them for. I think we use them for some kind of arrow or something. They're very handy. In some former game, I went out and got a heap of them because they're so useful. And I've got the patience to sneak through the plains and just let the death mosquitoes attack me, and then I take them out when they get close. So that is something I do a heck of a lot of. But here we are. I am back. I'll go out onto my veranda. I've got a veranda. I like to have a veranda. It's only looking over the forest. There is ocean in the distance there. It's a touch of it there. But it's not enough. My house should be overlooking it properly. So there you are. I will leave the game there. A beautiful world. I think that's why I play it. Like, it's fun. I can handle killing the animals if I feel like they're just going to come straight back and it's not actually death to them. But like all the other games I play, it's got really nice scenery, and I appreciate that. That's an absolute necessity in a game for me. Thank you for watching.